All right, all right. Welcome to Plumbgod Talk. This is OG Plumbgod from Southern California. Not so sunny again this week. Oh my gosh, it's just crazy. But we have a very special guest once again. I've been tracking this company for quite a while, and we have both really conducted a great relationship together. And I'm proud to introduce Gabriel Halimi, the CEO of Flow Technologies. Hey, Gabriel, how you doing today?
Hey, John, Plumbgod, my man, how you doing?
Pretty good, dude. I'm so thankful that you're here. You guys are doing big things, and I really want to help push your product. Not just that, but educate my listeners and my fans in what Flow can do for us as a whole in our industry.
Well, thank you so much, man. We're really excited about the water monitoring and control technology that we're bringing to the country and hopefully eventually the world. And this is really a partnership. We cannot do this ourselves. We partner with the plumbing industry, not only on installation, but on fixing problems in people's homes, being part of the solution, proactively maintaining homes. And we're just super excited to work with quality plumbers around the country, and especially working with our boy Plumbgod here in Southern California.
Yes, and I love that you're California based, and so am I. So tell us briefly about what is Flow, what it's going to do for our homeowners, and a little brief description of who you were before Flow came about. I know I kind of threw a lot at you there, but I just want to lightly touch about what Flow is and then talk about your personal background and kind of what led you into you and your father actually designing Flow.
Yeah, that's right. So the Flow device, now branded as of like a month ago, branded the Flow by Moen, which I'm happy to talk about. But so the Flow by Moen system is one device. It's about 6 inches long, and it installs on the main water supply line going into the home. And essentially, it's a water monitoring and control technology for the home. The problem space here is big. Leaks in homes is the leading cause of homeowners insurance claims, preventable homeowners insurance claims, that every year it's twice as likely that a homeowner will have water damage as a result of their plumbing than fire and theft combined. It's about a $9 billion a year issue in the U.S.
Wow.
And not only that, those leaks that happen in people's homes also is the cause of 13% of household water being lost, which is over 1 trillion gallons a year. And like here in Southern California, like many other parts of the country, conserving water is key. We live in severe drought conditions. And so we want to do everything we can to better maintain our water systems. So what we've designed is this one device installs in the main water supply line. It's a smart home product, similar user experience to a lot of those other cool devices you see out there, like the Ring doorbell or the Nest thermostat. But
Yeah.
we do it for water. And the device learns all of the water habits in the home. All the household water is running through this little device that's like 6 inches long. And in there's a flow sensor, a pressure sensor, and a temperature sensor. So all three fluid mechanical elements. There's an actuated ball valve that turns on and turns off the water. And then it communicates with the homeowner via a smartphone app because the device has Wi-Fi. So the home needs Wi-Fi. And then once it's installed, it learns all the habits of the home. It learns when people use their water, how often, at what flow rates, at what times of day, what days of the week. And if it ever senses something that could potentially be something catastrophic, or maybe someone leaving a water running, or even a leak as small as a drop of water a minute, it can notify the homeowner via the app.
Is it true?
It can also shut off the water.
Is it true that you can detect which fixture in the house is possibly leaking?
No, so we can't tell you exactly which fixture is leaking. What we can tell you is through the app, if you sign up for the Flow Protect program, you get a part of the app which will unlock your fixture usage. So it'll tell you how much of your water is going to your toilet versus your faucet versus your shower. So if you're into water conservation or just want to better understand your water bill, because like now, I mean, you know, in like Southern California, for example, parts of Atlanta, other parts of the country, water has gotten crazy expensive.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, in the event that you leave, you know, a sprinkler's broken, you would have no idea for maybe a couple of months because you only get your water bill once every 2 months. You would know same day, and you would know where that water was running, so you could go actually, you know, fix the underlying issue. So this is something that really over time, it really pays for itself for the homeowner. They love it, and they have full control over their water, and they can also prevent water damage. So most insurance companies will now also give a discount for having this installed on your main water supply line.
That is awesome.
It prevents a lot of damage, yeah.
So tell me, Gabriel, who were you before Flow?
Yeah, so...
And how did Flow start?
I have a really crazy background, which I'll get into in a second. I think the more interesting part is my dad's background. So my dad, who's really the inventor of Flow, he's been in the plumbing space for over 25 years. He's invented a number of different plumbing products. He invented like the flood safe product, which was a connector that would automatically shut off in the event that the connector ruptured. He worked for a company called Calflex here in Southern California that he started. Eventually that company sold to Watts Water Technology. So he's done a lot of different things in plumbing.
Wow.
But really the starting point for Flow, I would say, was probably back in like 2007. So my dad was, you know, the expert witness to the plumbing industry, helping them deal with subrogation claims from insurance. So imagine that like one of your customers has a catastrophic pipe burst in their home, you know, and then they file a claim with their homeowner's insurance. That homeowner's insurance company will many times file a lawsuit against the plumber, the plumbing manufacturer, alleging that, hey, this connector that popped off the water supply line, for example, was faulty.
And my
dad that would be analyzing like thousands of these claims, and he realized that, like, geez, this is a huge issue. Like for your electricity, you got a circuit breaker. For fires that break out, you got a smoke detector. You got sprinklers. For theft, you have an alarm system, yet there's nothing for the water system, and that's where the biggest claims are happening.
Right?
Like, that's the most common cause. While my dad was experiencing that, I was actually an attorney working in-house at a plumbing company, at a plumbing manufacturing company.
Oh, wow.
Who was on the receiving end of millions of these claims. So both me and my dad were like, wait, this is a really big problem here. And then that same year that we were both working on different angles of the same problem, we had a catastrophic water damage claim in our own home. Like one of those connectors popped off the water supply line, like $100,000 or more of damage to the home. I was living in a hotel for over 6 weeks. So really just, it was bad, man.
That's horrible.
At that point, my dad just decided he was going to come up with a solution to this problem. I patted him on the back. I was like, that's awesome, Dad. You do that. He's always coming up with crazy things in the garage. And, you know, it wasn't until years later, like 2015, when I actually went into the garage to see what the old man was working on. And he had done it. He had like an early prototype of Flow where this one device on one side of the water supply line could identify a drop of water happening like anywhere in the home. And I was like, this is beyond, man, because yes, it was a great solution for homeowners, but for the insurance industry, I mean, it helps save a lot of money there. It helps, you know, it helps water utilities conserve water, but ultimately, this is an amazing lead generation device to the plumbing industry. Like
100%.
Today, if one of your customers has a leak in your home, in their home, like, you know, the homeowner has no idea, the plumber has no idea.
Right.
But now, like, you can actually be part of the solution and know when, you know, your customer is having a problem, so you can actually go out and help them fix it before it becomes, you know, something really catastrophic or a big problem.
Right. I mean, I can attest to how great Flow is myself. So I have a Flow device at my home, and I had such a small leak that I literally, with my Goldac leak detector, could not tell where my leak was coming from. And all of a sudden, I mean, honestly, probably 2 months later, I found out that there was a slab leak in my driveway. So I rerouted and replumbed my entire water service to my house. And then that didn't stop the leak. There was another leak, and so I just ended up repiping my entire house. And you know what? No more leaks. So this thing can sense the leak before the water damage has even happened to your home.
Yeah, that's right. And really what the studies that my dad did over all those years when he was that expert witness, he really realized that if you can catch the leaks in their infancy, like before you just have some pipe burst, you usually have a sign that something bad is happening. A lot of times that's a really small leak. It's like a little pinhole, which, we can help identify. Or even before that, it could be something like high pressure in the water system, right? Like high water pressure in your pipes is like very similar to high blood pressure in your body, where if you have high blood pressure for long periods of time, that's putting a lot of strain on your organs, your veins, arteries, and eventually something can fail. The same is true for the water system. If you got high water pressure for long periods of time, the home water system is, as most of your listeners probably know, is like supposed to be between something like 40 to 80 psi.
Yeah,
but I can tell you, like so many homes we install in have over 90 psi, 100 psi, some 120 psi.
Yep.
So like just by installing it right away, you see what the water pressure is. You're always monitoring it in real time, every second, every day. So in the event that you have one of those signs that, hey, something dangerous is happening, you can help your homeowner fix it on the front end so they don't get that catastrophic problem. And believe me, your customers will be really happy when you do.
And it will also sense your thermal expansion too, because, water pressure regulator is just one part of what's helping your water pressure in your home. But when thermal expansion happens, you need an expansion tank. So let's say you have an expansion tank and your expansion tank goes bad. Flow's going to detect that because it's going to send you an alert for high water pressure.
Absolutely. Another big one is with freezing pipes. Like that's why we have a temperature sensor in line. So when pipes start reaching a freezing temperature, at the very least we have one, data point in line on the water line that can tell you when water's starting to reach a freezing temperature. And this week, when it's like historic polar vortex, cold air, across the country, like our systems are going nuts. Identifying.
Aren't you happy that you're in California?
Right? Oh yeah. I mean, we're in California, but we have like installations in every state in the country now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can see all these alerts coming in. We're on the phones. We're helping homeowners and we're helping plumbers actually get to their customers and help them avoid the catastrophic bursts that could happen when that water freezes in line.
Now, I know this product is live and ready to buy and sell in the United States. But what about Canada or Mexico or something like that? Other countries.
We have started doing some distribution in Canada, although we haven't really gone full force. I mean, in the U.S., we're now being sold in over 500 Home Depot stores. We have the partnership with Moen, which is awesome. So Moen is now also, distributing their product. They put their brand on it, so that they feel really strongly about it. They're obviously great partners to us, and we're really excited to be working with them. But so it's definitely coming to Canada and Mexico, but U.S. is a big market, and so we're really focused here right now.
Yeah, I just want to say that I am so happy to see like a family-owned business grow to what you guys have done. I mean, it's amazing to watch. I mean, I think actually Tim found me on Instagram and he started talking to me about flow, and I got one on my house immediately. I loved it. He came and did a training course with all my guys, and I've actually sold a water conservation program with the town of Apple Valley where I live, and I think it's a great thing. But I just love seeing the huge steps that you guys have made. Like when you guys hit Home Depot, oh my gosh, that feeling must have been amazing, right?
It was really amazing. It was pretty surreal to have like one of the largest, if not the largest retailer in the country back the product, say it's kind of the best in class. Like that was a really special day. And now to have, Moen, who's like household name plumbing fixture company, for them to get behind the technology as well is, I mean, it's surreal, but we feel so strongly about what we're doing because this is like, this is a win-win for everyone. It's a win for the homeowner. It's a win for the plumber. It's a win for the insurance industry. It's a win for water utilities, and it's also a win for our retailing partners too. Because when we identify, problem fixtures in the home, the plumber still has to go back to the retailer and maybe replace that faucet, replace
Right.
the toilet fill valve, to replace that pressure regulator or water shut off. And so, it's nice to have a product that we can feel so good about, and to do it with my dad is, it's
Even
really,
better.
it's really pretty surreal.
Yeah. So let me go at this. So, us plumbers, we get hounded and pounded with all this great new technology and great new products that we can push onto our customers. But I think for a lot of us, that's the hardest part, is to change our ways and figure out how we can push this product with our customers. And maybe pushing isn't the right term. I actually like to educate our customers on how they can use this technology for the benefit of their house, and the safety of their home. So if you were a plumber, and let's just say you came out to a house and there was a leaking faucet, how would you bring flow into the mix and possibly pitch the flow device and get an install?
It's a great question, and I think you're absolutely right. This is about educating homeowners because more than anything else, this really does pay for itself. It's something that every home should need, and it's the parallel to, like, they wouldn't have a home today without a smoke detector. They wouldn't have a home today without an alarm system, and really, this is the technology that is the kind of parallel to those, but for the water system, and this is where the problems are really happening. So the example that you gave, someone has like a leaky faucet, I would say, like, man, like that's, at least there you could see it. Imagine how many pipes are behind the walls of your home,
Yeah.
underneath the slab of your home, places that are just not visible, where those leaks could be happening just as easily. And it's those kind of leaks that are the root causes to having, catastrophic water damage. That's the majority, well, not the majority, but I would say the most preventable cause of homeowners insurance claims is water damage from
Yes.
the plumbing system. And I can tell you, everyone knows somebody that's had water damage as a result of, a plumbing failure in a home. So even though homeowners may say, like, oh, I've never had that before, well, it's like, well, it's kind of a ticking time bomb. I mean, the pipes in your home are not meant to last forever, right?
Right.
Like, especially with like older homes, like it's bound to happen to your home at some point or another. So I think the way to talk about it is to like kind of educate them about the problem space. If they already have a leak, then it's really fortunate that it kind of opens the door to have a conversation about other leaks that could be happening. And it's I think the thing that we found the most is to really educate people about how this is really a financial issue as well, because
Right.
those leaks, ultimately, it's a lot of money you're wasting on a water bill. Those leaks, especially when it turns into mold, what is happening behind a wall or happening underneath the slab, that could turn into mold and create a health issue.
Yeah.
And ultimately, if you don't correct those leaks, those are the things that turn into the big bursts that become very costly. And that's why many homeowners insurance companies, like, check with Farmers Insurance, check with Liberty Mutual, like, some of the biggest, to some of the biggest out there, especially the high net worth homes. If any of your customers are dealing with, like, customers that have larger homes, higher net worth individuals that may be insured by companies like Chubb or Pure, those guys are giving big discounts where the technology literally pays for itself. So, and by the way, I'll just put in a separate plug. You brought up Tim. I mean, we also have a team of in-house, the plumbers, like Tim Brock we reference. We have resources internally. If you guys are looking for like brochures or videos or anything like that you may want to put in front of a homeowner, we're happy to send stuff like that out to help you educate homeowners when you're out there.
I think what me personally, what I like doing whenever I'm in any house, no matter what, for one, whenever I go to a leak, I'm checking the water pressure. Number one. Then I'm asking questions to my customer. I'm like, has this ever happened before? Have you ever had a leak anywhere else in the house? Has your water heater ever been replaced? Stuff like that. I like to reopen wounds before I pitch a true solution so that they can remember all of the little things that has happened and how much it has cost them, and reiterate all this stuff in their brain so that when I give them a solution, all that stuff's fresh again. And they're like, you know what? I think this is a great idea, John. How could we do this? What's the process here? Now, after we sell the unit, let's get a little technical. What size water service can we install this flow device on?
Yeah, so right now on the market is the 3/4 of an inch device. You can install that one on anything between a 1/2 inch line to a 1 1/4 inch line.
Okay.
People frequently ask, like, wait a minute, I'm reducing the water supply line from
Right.
1 1/4 inch to 3/4 of an inch. Is my homeowner going to have a problem? The answer is no. They would have to be using something like over 30 gallons per minute of water in order to feel the reduction. It doesn't happen. So, I mean, we've literally installed hundreds of these, maybe over 1,000 now, on 1 inch or 1 1/4 inch lines, and literally none of them have ever been returned as
Awesome.
a result of reducing the line. So, if you got homes anything within that range, you're good. In about a month, we're going to start shipping our 1 1/4 inch devices, which could be installed on 1 1/2 inch lines, which again, for some of those higher net worth homeowners, larger homes, those are the devices that would be appropriate for that. And by the way, John, you made me think of something.
Okay.
One of the best selling points of the technology is that we have a micro leak test built into the device. So anytime the homeowner, from a push of a button, can do a test on their own home to see if there's a leak anywhere in the water system. Now, we do that automatically every day.
Right.
You have the Flow by Moen device on the water supply line. But one of the additional selling points is, like, just imagine you have leaks anywhere like that in your home, like the one you just saw in your faucet. If you had this device installed, it would tell you if you had a leak anywhere in your house. You wouldn't have to go looking for it. And it does that proactively every day.
And you would probably notice it before you even see the drip.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, you would definitely. Sometimes you wake up to an alert, and oh, maybe it's my kid who didn't close the faucet all the way, or you usually know where to go look for those things,
right.
And it's usually a quick fix. But sometimes you have those looming things that it'll take you a while. Like you had the leak underneath your slab. It took you a little while, but if it says you have a leak, you have a leak somewhere, and then we can help you. And the plumber can be the hero and be part of the solution to help find where that leak is actually coming from, and actually help to do a repair for the homeowner.
Now, I'm going to tell you what I love most about Flow.
I'm ready.
And if anybody knows anything about Thompson Family Plumbing, we are 100% customer service. That is what we focus on every day, all day long. Because if you don't have a happy customer, you're not going to have a repeat customer. So when I had issues with my own home, with the Flow device in my house, your customer support was by far the best customer support I've ever had besides my own company.
Man. I really appreciate that. That's a big pride point for us, our support, because look, you're not going to get it right 100% of the time. Things are going to happen.
Right.
And a lot of times, as you know, because plumbing is a service industry, right? Like we're all in the service business. And so when you have a customer who has an issue, like you can sometimes turn an experience around that maybe would have been a 7 or 8 if nothing went wrong, and you can make it a 10. And that's
Absolutely.
really what our support guys believe. And let me tell you something, our support guys, they all come from a Tesla. They're all used to working in the challenging environments with challenging customers, high tech, the issues that come up that have now all been trained with, like plumbing, issues as well. So they take customer support very seriously. We have the same philosophy. We never let anyone, hang up the phone that's upset. And that's, that's part of our job. And that's why working with great plumbers is also, it really is a partnership. We are an extension of the plumber's business, and the plumber is an extension of our business.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about the process real quick. I know we're getting kind of long here, but I want to talk. I love flow so much, and I love everything that you're saying. I want to talk about the process real quick. Let's just say you get a burst pipe in the house. I have actually, you guys have called me in numerous times because I have misters on the back of my house, and if I don't put it on sleep mode, you guys will call me, and if I don't answer, you're going to shut me off. So if we have a burst pipe in the house, you first attempt to call the homeowner. Is that correct?
Yeah, so first thing the system will do is it'll send a push notification, a text message. It can even send an email. If the homeowner does not respond to those alerts, then the system will even call you, right? There's sometimes that, like, you can be on a job, you can be in a meeting, you're not, you're taking your kids to school, and you may not be checking those things. That's why the system will even call you, and it'll tell you what's going on.
Right.
And then with a push of a button, even from the phone call, you can ignore it, right? So it won't shut off the water for you. Everything's cool. Or you can push a button right there from the phone call, and you can actually turn off the water.
Right. That's so awesome. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about the sizing. So not just sizing, but metering. I had a couple questions a while ago about, is this, can you use the flow meter as a billable unit? So if I put this on a tenant landlord home, are they allowed to bill off of the flow?
Not yet, coming soon. So we're finalizing some of our certifications that we need. We need an American Water Works Association approval in order to do that. But shortly, the same unit that's out there today will have that certification. And awesome. When we do, we will send out a notification for that. So not today, but coming real soon. So
would it retroact to all the ones you've already installed?
I'm 90% sure, but I'm not 100% sure. So why don't I get back to you on that? I'll make a note right now, and then you can maybe share that with the listeners later.
Okay, awesome. And I know a lot of my, I have a lot of friends and followers that manage apartment complexes and manage these big factories and stuff like that. Is there in the future, is there bigger devices coming out, like 2-inch main or 4-inch main?
For sure, we're doing the 1.25 inch first. Then we'll likely get to a 2-inch. We haven't announced anything yet, but we have some stuff in the works. And our goal is to be able to protect all water systems. So we're starting with the single family homes first, and then we're definitely going to be moving into the commercial applications as well. And by the way, for people with apartment buildings, for example, if they're separately plumbed units, we can also provide a dashboard. So the property manager, the plumber, whoever can see what's happening in all of those units at the same time.
And that is awesome. That's actually groundbreaking. There's other devices that cannot do that. And I think that, that's another step up that Flow has above the competition.
And look, this is still a relatively young technology company. We're very proud of the device that we have, but you got to remember that software is easy to change. So all those advancements, those are just going to keep coming, and those aren't dependent on the hardware. So as long as you get the unit installed and we got you as the plumber of record, eventually the kind of dashboards that we're going to build for you and the kind of alerts that we're going to build, they're really only going to get better, but over time.
Yeah. Awesome. So what do you think the future of Flow is going to be looking like?
Oh man, that's a great question. I mean, I think so much of it is going to be based on the data. You know what I mean? I really see a world where, we're able to identify so much of where the water is going and helping people reduce their consumption, but ultimately the kind of data that we'll have on people's homes and being able to further pinpoint where their problems are based on the data that we're collecting is really only going to help plumbers. It's only going to help homeowners. So I think the data side is going to be big. And we also, as we were briefly talking about earlier, John, we want to get more people into of a plumbing service. We want to be a sponsor and a partner, to the plumbing industry to get qualified people in. I think there's a lot of exciting hybrid jobs between now just plumbing and tech. I mean, I look at it as like water technology, and
Right.
I think that there's really an emerging space there. There's an emerging niche, and we're always looking for the best and brightest plumbers for us to partner with in different areas. We've got a lot of demand for installations in different parts of the country as we partner with insurance companies and we partner with home warranty companies and
Right.
and so there's always demand for qualified installers. And when you become an installer for us and install some of the devices, and we get along and it's all quality, and like those are just leads that are going to come back to you. Now you have a new relationship with that homeowner, and so we're really excited about partnering with the plumbing industry and all the exciting things that we're going to do.
So how would one a plumber become a registered installer for you guys?
Yeah, so I think the domain is meetflow, FLO, meetflow.com/pro. Or you can just email our boy Tim, who's our plumber in residence, tim@flowtechnologies.com. Again, Flow is FLO. So Tim at Flow Technologies. To get to know Tim, he's the man. John, I know you know him well.
Amazing guy.
He would be the guy to talk to that can loop you into the system, keep you updated with the latest. We're working actually now on like a loyalty program for the plumbers that we work the closest with incentives and whatnot. And
awesome.
So yeah, there's going to be a lot there. Stay tuned. But I would just sign up with Tim, get on his list, and there's going to be a lot more to come there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a super busy man, especially now with your merger with Moen. And so thank you very much once again, and I hope you have a great evening.
Plumbgod, you're the man. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm a big fan of yours. We follow all your stuff here on Instagram here on the office. We're all big fans of yours. So really, thank you so much for having me on.
I appreciate it. Talk to you later.
Later, John.
Bye.